David Rogers, High Country Sports. Kind of looked like you guys had a little bit of a size advantage. Did you guys know that going in, and what was your strategy for taking advantage?
I think that's something we worked on in practice for sure. We just knew that we would have paint touches, and even if we don't score in the paint, if we get it in, then the other things open up for us.
Rylan, you kind of came on late in this game. What happened? What was it that got you going later in the game?
I just think it's conference. It's now or never. Every game is important. Every next game is important, so we have to win.
All right, Mara, first one for you. 8 quiet points in that first half, but came on real strong in that second half especially. I mean, what was it about your groove today that you just felt like it was working?
I don't know. I just came into the game and the only thing that was in my mind was defense. So my shots just kept coming in offense. I wasn't trying to force anything. I got myself going from steals and easy points, and then I got the confidence to keep shooting the ball, and that's what happened basically in both halves.
Hey, Rylan, now I want to ask you, especially in the first half, they found you down low real nice a couple of different times. Was really working with either finding you down low or the cutters coming down. What was the offensive mindset going here from what you saw on tape and what you practiced to how the success transpired during this game?
Yeah, we honestly, both of us just work on post moves all the time, and we just knew get it in, be strong with it, good things will happen.
Elena, a strong game for you as well. Both you and Rylan, it's like the perfect combination, honestly. I enjoy calling the games and so forth and watching you do your thing when, Mara and other people work on the outside. But how important was it to win the war in the paint today, because that's what you guys did?
Well, just like you said, we had a size advantage, and when me and Rylan are together in the game, that's a really good duo, I would say. So I think it was really, really important because we kept going, and both of us were in double figures. So coach was just let's try to get some paint touches, and then we're playing in and out, and shots were coming, paint touches were coming, everything was great.
And Rylan, to you on that same mindset, the war in the paint was very critical. We've talked about that, but they were a very physical team as well, and they came out with the press and so forth. But to be able to win that war in the paint, what did that say about your team now going forward?
I just think that it's the Sun Belt. Everyone's very athletic, very, very aggressive. So I think we handled it well today. We handled the pressure well. We did what we were supposed to do. We were poised. We were able to group together and find a way to win, and that's what we did.
Okay, let's talk about that Sun Belt. First win, first conference game. How important was this, especially with going on the road for the next two games and so forth? And that's from all of you.
Being in the Sun Belt, these guys are newbies, but just coming in, getting the first one. The next game is the most important. So getting every win that we can get matters in this league.
I just think that we needed this just because we have 2 games on the road, the next 2, and obviously non-conference on the road we were struggling, but we are not thinking about that. But we know that we got to step up, especially when we are on the road, to get the dub.
Ella Snap, Appalachian Weekly News, App TV. Really, for all 3 of you, how did it feel to be back? It's been over a month since you've played here at home, so how did it feel to be back with the team in your home court?
It feels great, especially because the gym was kind of packed, and everything that they organized, half court, throwing teddy bears and everything, it was really cute. But I just think that this win means a lot to us because coming from Christmas break and everything, we were really practicing and preparing for this. So I'm glad that we could have achieved a win today.
It's always fun to play at Holmes, protect Holmes court. That's what we do. So it was good to be back.
Happy New Year to y'all.
Any further questions? Great, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like if Tickled to Death was a person, you'd be looking at her. I am really, really proud of our team. I told them after the game, they won this game in the last 3 days. They have came back since Christmas break, and sometimes Christmas break is hard. Obviously, going into it with a win is nice. But I told them just take 4 days off. Don't shoot a ball. Just really take some time to rejuvenate and then come back and hunt that first game. And our practices have been amazing. Their effort, their energy, their togetherness. And you saw all that today on the floor, and it's why we won the game.
David Rogers, High Country Sports. I asked the players this already, but you obviously had a little bit of a size advantage through most of the game. What was your specific strategy for coming into it with that?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to get points in the paint, obviously. Pounding the ball inside. And it took us a little bit to get to that. And then to start the third quarter, we kind of decided, let's try something else. And then it took the timeout and we got back to it. And so I just think it's important for our team to learn and understand to go to what's working. And I love the way we valued the ball for 3 quarters. That's been an Achilles heel for us. We did a really good job with the press. I thought we were aggressive. We found the second layer. We made some tweaks to our press offense. I love the way Tafisi played. I thought she was really confident, played a lot of minutes, and it's hard. I mean, to be trapped and pressed for the entire, there's no time you look up and she's not being guarded really hard with the basketball. I thought she did a really good job keeping our composure. Obviously, the last 10 minutes, we got to be better, stronger with the ball. I thought we got a little back on our heels. But I challenged them at halftime, too, defensively. I thought in our Mercer game, it was the best we defended in the first half, and then we didn't really defend with that same intensity in the second half. And I thought they came out, maybe not so much in the fourth quarter, but in the third quarter, I thought we still had a lot of defensive intensity. But I believe in our bigs. I think they're skilled, Rylan and Elle. I like playing them together. We get the high-low action. We got the bucket out of it. Then we probably forced it a little bit too much. Just an area that we've got to continue to improve.
You mentioned that you started in the paint kind of slow, but tried to do something else. What was that something else that you brought in?
Well, I thought we settled a little bit for early jumpers. I think that we shoot it really well when it hits the paint first, and that's usually when it gets us going. And so we've got to find a way to get to the paint and then play inside out and then find our rhythm, and then we can get in a groove. And like we did in the Mercer game, I thought, we found Neira. We got hot in the zone, and same thing today. She hit a really big 3 in the fourth quarter to kind of ice the game. And but that's just who we are and who we are going to be. 18 assists. That's our team. That's what we're going to recruit to. That's what we tell every single player, that if you're going to come here, you're going to play together and you're going to play for each other. You can see our kids looking for each other, playing together. Obviously, still a lot of things that we got to clean up and get better at. But I am so proud of our intensity and our togetherness today.
You mentioned the team aspect of it, and I had to make the observation that Emily Carver, in years past, in the last couple of years, has been sort of a focal point at some point. Tonight, it looked almost like when she was open, players were not looking to her. They were looking the other way. Is that something that's I guess because of the breadth of talent now that you've got that's happening, or is there something, I don't know, intentional about that?
Yeah, no, we are not going to forget about Emily Carver. After our College of Charleston game, she only took 4 shots, and that was a really big message in the locker room. Is we got to continue to do a better job of finding her. Most of the team hasn't played with her, and so they don't know. And Arda's comfortable all the time, and it's not a habit for them to look for her. I thought she started off really strong, being really aggressive to start the game, and that's just something we've got to continue to improve. We forget about her, honestly. I don't know how many shots she took in the second half, but not enough. She's a huge weapon for us, and we've got to make sure that we're leaning into that weapon.
One final question is, what did you expect from Arkansas State tonight, and what did you specifically plan to combat them?
Yeah, obviously we knew that they were going to be really aggressive, and we told our team that if we could handle the front layer, that we could get layups off of it. And so we did. We got some early post hits. We got some dishes. I thought we were really aggressive off the dribble and the pass. Threw it out of bounds a few times, but I'd rather an out of bounds turnover than a live ball turnover, if I'm being honest with you. But and we knew they'd shoot the 3. That's just something. When you look at our defense, we're like top 3 in the Sun Belt in defensive field goal percentage, but we're almost lost in defending the 3. It's just something we've worked hard on. And again, today we're playing flat, way back off of them. They get some wide open 3s. Obviously, sometimes in zone, we don't get rotated quick enough. You can kind of live with that a little bit in the corner, but an area that we've got to continue to improve. They're a good downhill team. I thought we did a little better job guarding the ball. They're real similar to College of Charleston. Obviously, if you go back and look at that game, we were never in it. So I think that's how far we've moved the needle, and I'm really proud of our team that way.
Bob Dillner, Appalachian Weekly News and App TV. Alaura, I want to know, how big and why is this opening win in the Sun Belt important?
Well, I think just because it's the next game, there's always going to be a next game coming up until you hit March, and it's just, we told our team to not focus on the win. Because I'll be honest, I was nervous a little bit before the game. I think they were too. I just told them, focus on the process. Don't focus on winning. Just focus on, what do I have to do right now for this possession? And I really, really challenged them all 3 days in practice with our defensive intensity. I just think that there's another gear that we have in us. I thought we ran the floor a lot better on both ends. But it's great to get your opening conference, especially when you go on the road. And we've got a real opportunity our next couple games. So we've just got to continue to honestly stay focused on us and how can we continue to improve in 2 days of practice leading up into our next game.
There's so much noise out there, the preseason poll outside the top 10, this and that. But I said on the broadcast, I feel, and I truly do, that this team is underrated. I want to know what prepared you during non-conference play to what we're about to see coming up in conference play.
I think we played a really hard non-conference schedule. I mean, if you look at the teams that we played, I think College of Charleston is, picked in the top of the CAA, and they'll finish there. You look at Wofford and going down, they're picked at the top of the SoCon. UNCG, and our third game of the season. Vandy's receiving votes. Richmond's receiving votes. We played a really tough non-conference schedule, and all those teams were really, really different. We played no just normal teams. Vandy pressed all over the place. College of Charleston pressed all over the place. Had we not have played those games, and it was ugly, it would have been really ugly today, probably. And so, did I love our non-conference schedule? When I sat there and looked at it in October, I was like, oh my goodness. But we told our kids after Mercer that they're prepared for the Sun Belt play, and that's important. And we learned lessons, but sometimes you can lose your team. We lost 4 games in a row, and you can start losing your locker room. And I met privately with Carver and Tafisi after we got our butts kicked at College of Charleston, and I really challenged them to help me hold things together, and they've done a great job. And same with Rylan Moffitt, Asia Ennis. Those kids have been key in continuing to lead and stay bought into me, the system, and where we want to go as a team. We don't care what other people think about us. We're only focused on the things that we can control, and that's getting better every day.
Let's talk about Tafisi. Impressive. Again, what do you see out of her right now?
Confidence. Will, I think, watched film with her and really challenged her on her off-ball defense. At Wofford, she was emotional after the game because when you go back and watch it, they really picked on her and she got tired. Now, she went from being out post-surgery. She went from playing 15 minutes to 34 minutes in a week. That's a lot. She got tired, and I don't know if you saw me grab her with 4 minutes to play, and I just kind of grabbed her by the face, and I'm like, remember the Wofford game? Because she started skipping around and not playing off-ball defense, and I thought she really locked in after that and played with good urgency and tempo. I love that kid. She's really fun to coach. She's takes care of the basketball and really plays and looks for her teammates. But I thought when we needed her to get downhill, she did. And we need that part of her game.
Last question from me. Won the war in the paint today. Elena and Rylan, so critical to do that. How important are they to this team that shoots the ball well from the outside as well?
When we first started, I met with Raven Wright, who's our post coach, and I said, the development of our post and interior game is going to have a lot of impact on how well this team does. I still think there's so much you still haven't seen. I mean, they're still not confident. They're not facing up and being aggressive enough. They're not taking enough shots, probably. There's just games you have to be able to throw it inside and get something out of it. I thought, we made them kind of dig and double a little bit today, but their head down and is working. They are. And who doesn't get any credit is Sam LaFawn and Georgia Gray. I mean, they guard us and play really hard on scout team. Sam is constantly challenging everybody, leading. She is the most selfless human, her and Georgia both. And so I'm grateful for our set of bigs, and we need them.
Any further questions? Great. Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thank you.